Hello families! Let's talk about a tool that is available on the BCPS website to help you find your zone schools for all three levels, for elementary, middle, and high school within BCPS. So it is a big myth to think that just because if you're moving and you're trying to stay within a zone, that if you stay within your zip code, that you will not have to change school. I've heard that mentioned many times, and that is not necessarily true. Zip codes are not a standard size. They vary in size, and some of them contain multiple schools within the zone, and others just have one school within the zip code. So it really depends. So what you need to do is use this tool if you are moving and you want to know if you are staying within county or within zone, or if you are sending your child for the first time to kindergarten or pre-K and you're within a similar distance to multiple schools and you're not sure which one they belong to. This will help you out. So first thing is first, let's make sure that you are at bcps.org. That is the website for the school district. And we're going to talk in a little bit about how there's some things to keep in mind when you look at it on a smartphone. So we are using a laptop or desktop view. It's a little bit bigger. It shows the full menu when you are on the website. And we'll talk about just a little bit of a difference because it's a narrow view when you are on a smaller device, and there's some things to keep in mind. But the process is exactly the same. So first, from the main menu, when you're on the school website, you're going to click on schools. And as that loads, you're going to scroll down to where you see it says find your zone school. And click on that, and then the tool is going to start to load up. Now, this tool has a tendency to load better and more stable on a laptop or a desktop than on a smartphone or smaller device. It just has to do with compatibility with browsers and any updates. And so you may want to try different things depending on if it's not loading even on your computer. You can try a different browser, a different device, use your spouses or friends or family members. Just try different things. If you just have a blank screen, it doesn't seem to load up anything. That can happen on either. So at the top, you'll see a search bar to find an address or place. And then you're just going to put in here the actual address that you are going to move to or that you live at, and you want to know what schools are nearby. And you don't have to type the whole address out. I'm, for example, typing in the address of the school that I happen to work for, and it already found the match. And you just click on the match. And when you click on the match, then it's going to show you the three levels of school that you pertain to based on that address. And since I work at Norwood Elementary School, that makes all the sense in the world as to why that came up. So what happens when you put in an address and it actually doesn't load up at all? There's no results, or it says no results found. Well, that's because you do not belong to BCPS. That means that there is no school and that you were zoned for within the entire school district of BCPS. So then you're going to have to go and find out, because maybe you live on the edge, you're on the border with another school district like Baltimore City, for example, and then you're going to have to try to find out what your school is within that other nearby district by calling a nearby school in that district or calling that district. So that does happen, and sometimes the zones do change within the district. Sometimes a school zone can get bigger or smaller, and sometimes the BCPS's whole boundary can change too. So keep in mind that can happen from one year to another. It just depends. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about the smartphone view, because it's important to note that, yes, it's a little bit narrower. It is the same process, but when you follow the same steps, you're first going to make sure that you click on the three horizontal bars for the menu, because you don't see the top menu at first. It just has a menu icon, which are those three bars. And when you click on that, then it expands. Then you can click on schools. Then you can scroll down to find your zone school. And once you do that, assuming it loads up correctly, you're going to notice that there's a bit of an alert. There may be an alert that gives you instructions on how to use this tool, and you don't need to read it. You can if you want, but you can just close it out. And so you might have some alerts that pop up versus on the bigger screen on a computer, it doesn't have that. It's just kind of all part of the page. It's just a different side of the page. So once you type in the same bar your address, you're going to have like a results window alert come up. And then you have to click where it says results to expand it. And then you'll see the same view of the three levels of school that pertain to that address by zone. That's when you can see. So it might be a little bit more visible or less visible depending on how big of a screen your phone is, but this is what you have to keep in mind. So it's exactly the same process. Remember, all you have to do is go to the website, click on schools, type in your address in the tool, and there you go. And keep in mind, if it doesn't load correctly, try a different device, try a different browser, try something different, and worst case scenario, you can call your school to verify if, or a nearby school, if you belong to their zone.